All right, so let's talk about today. You guys had a witness that kind of recaps exactly Clayton's involvement in all of this. How important was that for the sentencing today?
Well, you know, a lot of the information that was testified to today was information that was already public knowledge, but we felt that it was important to remind the judge of all the facts that were surrounding the case. We wanted the judge to know that at the time that Clayton Kelly was arrested, that he did recognize that what he had done was wrong. Throughout a lot of the pretrial publicity, there were statements that had been made that this was all journalistic, that there was no crime that had been committed, and we felt it was important for the judge to know that was not necessarily, at least, the thoughts of Clayton Kelly at the time of his arrest. So we wanted to put forth that recap, and we wanted the judge to have an opportunity to view the photo that was taken of Ms. Cochran so that he could take all of those factors into consideration when he imposed sentence.
Were you pleased with the final sentence?
I think the judge made the proper decision on the sentencing. It was a difficult decision. The judge said several times, and I thought it was a very prophetic thing, the statement made by his wife that this was just plain dumb. But also that he should have known that this was wrong. And so what he did while while wrong, there also was a lot of stupidity in that. He should have been able to foresee what he was doing was wrong. I think he knew what he had done was wrong, and it took until the eve of trial before he was willing to admit to that.
Your office did make a point to tell the judge that he did show remorse.
That's right. Again, I think it's important for us to be fair, to both sides, to both the defendant and to the victim in this case. So we wanted the judge to have a clear and complete picture of this defendant as the judge is preparing to impose sentence. And I think that's part of the job that we have as prosecutors. While our job is to go into court and to secure convictions, we're also supposed to be fair to each side. And so that was one of the reasons that that statement was put forth, so that the judge could see that, one, Clayton Kelly knew what he was doing was wrong, but also that the judge could see that he did show remorse, that he did cooperate with the investigation. Clayton Kelly was the first person arrested. Based upon his arrest, that then led us to John Mary and to Rick Sager. And so there was cooperation to some extent that he provided throughout the course of this investigation.
Was this considered like a very unusual case to a point? Starting out as political, then.
It is a very unique case. It was a case in which, as the case progressed, there were various twists and turns along the way. It was a case in which that there were a lot of allegations that this was purely political. And that but for the fact that Rose Cochran was the victim, that this case never would have been investigated or prosecuted. What I hope comes away from this is at the end of the day, all three of the individuals who were arrested, they all admitted guilt. Two have entered pleas of guilty. The third has been enrolled in the district attorney's pretrial diversion program. And this finally brings to an end this chapter in the Rose Cochran photograph cases.
Now, there was no trial in this case. You guys took this opportunity to show, whatever evidence the judge needed to see. Is there more to it than this? Was there more that we would have possibly seen in the trial that wasn't brought up today? Well,
I think what you would have seen at trial is you would have seen the context of those Facebook messages back and forth between Mary and Sager and Clayton Kelly. There would have also been phone records where you would have seen that there were numerous phone calls back and forth at various times of the day and night as they are planning this conspiracy. If the case would have gone to trial, you would have also have heard from Sager and Mary. Both of those individuals would have testified, and you would have seen the entire videotape statement that Clayton Kelly had given the Madison Police Department. We went through just a minor, a very small segment of that, and we wanted the judge to be aware of that. But there was approximately a half-an-hour video in which Clayton Kelly does admit his involvement and kind of how all this came to be. So you would have seen what you saw today, but there would have been much greater detail, and there would have been some additional things that would have come out if the case had gone to trial.
Do you agree with the judge's assessment that Kelly kind of got duped into this because of he wasn't the brightest guy in the operation?
You know, I don't want to say he got duped into this. I think he was very ambitious. He saw this as a chance for him to begin a journalistic career, to really take off his blog site of Constitutional Kelly. And so while he was encouraged to do that, I would or I would have to disagree that he was duped into this. I think he knew what he was doing. There was encouragement from other co-defendants, but he clearly was very ambitious. He clearly saw that he would be able to have some gain for what he was doing, and I think that was his motivating factor.
Mr. Camp said he didn't think that his client would serve the entire 2.5 years because of some earned time or whatever. Can you shed some light on that?
You know, it will be up to the Department of Corrections, the percentage of sentence that he would have to serve. I would agree with Mr. Camp that I do not believe he'll have to serve the sentence in its entirety. What percentage of the sentence he will have to serve will be up to the Department of Corrections. Once he is taken back to the Madison County Jail, he'll be detained there within the next 30 days. So he'll be transferred to the Mississippi Department of Corrections, where he'll be classified. And once he's classified, then those calculations will be made by the Department of Corrections. I stopped a long time ago trying to guess what percentage of the sentence that the defendant will be required to serve, because you know, we have had a very poor success record in being able to make that determination. But I would be very surprised if he has to serve the sentence in its entirety.
Thank you.
Thank you all.